and when we
All
get the
right.
new streaming thing, whatever we're gonna do, and we could go back to
Okay. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2. What up, people? This is your boy DJ Brown, aka Dave Tovey.
Oh, stop. No. I forgot.
I'm definitely using this.
What? Man,
Every episode with Bria Shade.
Every episode. Oh man. All right. That's what I'm gonna do. Your birthday coming up. I'm buying you some shades for your birthday, bro. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. This is the Brody's podcast. We are ridiculous podcast. This started from a group chat. You know, we like to say group chat turn potty. You know what I mean? So let me introduce everybody right quick. I got my brother right here, William Shemaine Brown, aka
Future Patriarch. Hello, people. How y'all doing out there? Talk to me in the chat. We want to see it on all the messages coming our way.
Yes, sir. How you feeling though, bruh?
Feeling good. A little chilly down here in the lab, but I'm all right. We get through. I'll do this.
I also got one of my best friends, Andrew Ray Monroe. How you feeling, brother? AKA,
I mean, voice of reason.
how you feeling?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling, man.
I see you got the lights going.
You know, I have to set the mood.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what I mean? Gotta set the vibes. You know what
You
I mean?
already know Will think you a sex symbol.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right with that. Let's go.
All right. Hey, my brother has his picture up because he's not feeling well. I need y'all to keep him up. Good vibes, send him. Hey, we got Contrell Gerard Reagan, aka
Thank you.
Gosh, what?
Hey man, I know you got the flu right now, but you know we hope you feeling better, man. I know you're gonna chime in every now and then. When you chime in, just speak up a little bit, my brother. I know. He said, okay.
Not ask me how.
You
Yeah,
sound
well,
like
we
one
know
of
how
them
you
smokers
feel.
commercials.
How you feel?
You said he sound like one of them smokers.
I used to smoke cigarettes. I buy
Holy one. Get my
moanings and groanings.
moanings. Oh, magnify
Oh, magnify the Lord with me.
Hey man, we hope you feel better, Contrell, man.
Hey, man. Those of y'all that know the words of prayer, pray my strength.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, bro.
Hey, listen, first of all, next, we thank y'all for tuning in our last episode, man. We had so much fun, man. It's probably the best one yet. It had to be the best one yet, in my opinion, and even y'all's opinions, man. I seen y'all been watching it more, reposting it more. So we thank y'all. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna get into this episode. I'm gonna throw this one to my brother Will, man. He came up with some really, really dope topics that man, I think this first topic we're gonna be stuck on for the whole episode. So what you got for me, Will?
So yeah, the first topic we gonna touch base on, talk about is, I'm sure you've heard it already, chat. Basically, and I'll go ahead and say it. Who the fuck did I marry?
Who the
For the title. Okay. Let's just say this. If you haven't watched it yet and you have no idea what I'm talking about, okay, that's the title of this woman who's just sharing her experience on TikTok. I believe it started. It's on YouTube now. Picture of her. But yeah, kind of to like, if people who don't know what's going on with the whole story, basically she met a dude on some dating site, whatever. They got together.
It was Facebook dating app. I mean, they met on Facebook. They were friends, found each other on Facebook, and then Hinge. dating
Yeah.
app.
Yeah, Big Shirley fell in love.
But yeah, they met, whatever. I guess they hit it off, everything started happening fast, and like things just stopped adding up, and he started doing some wild stuff like we'll go into and everything. But yeah, ultimately they had got married, and she was finding all this crazy stuff about him. He just, like, the person that he told her he was just, it was not him. Like, she had to get his social and everything to find out his true identity. But yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. It's just a wild story. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. Again, it's Who the F, I'll say F, but it's TF. Look it up. Who TF Did I Marry?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead, DJ.
Hmm?
Man, where do we start? Where do we begin? So I started watching the first part. It's in parts. It's 52 parts, right?
Yeah, like 51, 52 parts.
So I watched part 1. And from part 1, she started having some questionable things about this man, but still continue. Let's stay there for a second. Right? Before we jump into these 3 points right quick. Let's just stay in there. Let's stay there for 1 second, because it's like when women and men are blind to signs that are right in front of them.
Right.
like blind. And I don't know if they're just, I'm beyond, like, just be real, dumb. I don't know if they just ignore it and they like F it, like, boom, boom, boom. But yo, you're not gonna sit here and tell me, like she said, like, I kept a diary, and it was an audio diary. And she said from like the first diary entry, what is he gonna lie about this time?
Right.
But you trust this nigga and you move this nigga in with you just because he was paying your rent and bills? And then you can't cry wolf after. You can't. Cottrell's talking in chat. He said it's 52 parts. So yeah. So I just wanted to make mention of that because that was crazy. So Will, let me ask you this. Was she stupid? Or was he a master manipulator?
I think it has a bit to do with both, but I honestly have to give it to this man and say, I don't know what his goal was, but he finessed her. I'm sorry, he finessed her, and he was using, tactics that old Will, when I was doing my dumb stuff when I was younger, would highly respect. Honest, yo, he had this girl mind gone, and as I'm going through listening to her story, things that he did, I'm like, yo, this man knew what he was doing. This ain't his first rodeo, and he got into this chick mind. Like, again, I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't really know what his.
Say that again. That wasn't his first what?
His first rodeo.
Come on, man.
Sure wasn't.
It was not, because he just had it to a science, and he broke it down just how to basically get his clutches in his female. Like the way that they started off when they first went ahead and matched on whatever dating site, Hinge and whatever. It was crazy because they matched on both 2 different sites. He had 2 different names. Of course, that's gonna be a red flag off rip. But this man just talked her out of that thinking pattern. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just talk about, yeah, that's just another name that I go by. You might say, yeah, that's anybody could say that, but just moving forward to what happened, like when they first met up, and I guess they was going to the Cheesecake Factory. That's where she wanted to go.
Favorite restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's her favorite restaurant. So he's taking her to her favorite restaurant, right? So obviously he asked her, right? And so then, that's all a big thing right now. Women thinking, what I'm saying, they gotta be first dates takes good place. You always see these videos, they're getting taken in places like Burger King and stuff, and they don't like it. So he asked her, obviously, and he took her to her favorite restaurant. While she's on the way, she gets a flat tire. Now, I don't know why she didn't.
That was God.
Yeah.
Trying to save her. Stop her.
Exactly. I agree with that. Trying to stop her from making a huge mistake. But she called this man instead of, I don't know. She don't know how to, she don't have AAA. She don't have, know how to change a tire. She called him instead of, a man in her family. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if her dad's in her life, but she sure didn't call him. I just hear stuff about her aunt and her mom said this, through the whole story. I never hear no mention of her father. But she calls this man like, I'm not gonna be able to do it or whatever. And I got a flat tire. He said immediately, he's like, I'm gonna be a hero. Boom, where are you at? Let me know where you at. He goes there. Not only does he change the tire, he says, nah, you can't drive on this donut. Like, we gotta get this fixed. Then he pays for her to get another tire. And then goes ahead on the date. And so in her mind, like, this man already day one, he's taking care of me. Mm-hmm. He's basically just getting his clutches in her, and it's just moving to a point where it's like he's settling in, like, what I'm saying, I want you to depend on me. She even says it herself, like, from even when they moved on and she moved in with him, and he started paying her rent.
Nah, he moved in with her.
Yeah, he moved in with her. Yeah, he started paying her rent, all her utilities. And she said her exact words, it was an intoxicating feeling. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be real about it. That to me is just, she's being real in a sense about, implying that, she was desperate. And she wanted love. She wanted to be married. And now out of the blue, this dude, he comes out of nowhere, sweeping her off her feet, paying her bills, what women want, basically, so he could provide for her and all of that, take care of her, do whatever, which is very attractive to a woman. So from day one, like, I had to hand it to him. This man really, like, got into her mind, got her all mixed up, messed up. I'm like, yeah, you need me, chick. You need me. And she just fell further and further in. And, I'll let y'all take over because this is a long story. Y'all can give y'all takes, right?
So I listened to the whole thing today. I was at work multitasking all day. But like you said, first off, the two different names on two different sites, that's a huge red flag. I don't even care. The fact that you on two dating sites with two different names, you're not going to explain your way out of that. But as the voice of reason, all right, as the voice of reason, allow me to say this. The woman that I'm listening to in part 52 is a totally different woman from part 1. And I have a whole lot more respect for her in the end of it than I did in the beginning. Because in the beginning, all I'm thinking is, yo, you can't be this dumb. Because you asked the question, was she dumb or is he a master manipulator? And to me, he ain't no master manipulator. Because a lot of the stuff he was doing when she's there telling the stories, I'm like, nope. I'm like, that would never work. So, like, I'm looking at it and I'm writing stuff down. So, I understand how she felt because she said it herself. She was in one of those positions where it's like, I just want it to be my turn so bad. But you can't be wanting your turn so bad that you be jumping into empty pools head first. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's just dumb. You feel me? And then I feel like she was just a glutton for punishment because, yo, remember when COVID first came out? Everybody was scared. You wasn't trying to go nowhere. How the hell you gonna quarantine with a nigga that you just met? That didn't make no sense to me. And then when they do the whole, when he paying my bills and he talking about I'm a regional manager. First off, I can't take you seriously if you tell me you a regional manager. Because in my head, I'm automatically thinking you the assistant to the regional manager. So you're not paying you. Schrute. Yeah, you getting finessed by Dwight Schrute. So I'm like, nah, I'm all good. Beat farmer. I'm like, I'm like, nah, you can't. I'm like, you could never finesse. And then I'm thinking, yo, so she don't got no self-worth, right? Clearly. So I'm like, you falling for this, regional manager bull crap. But then what really started like all the red flags that was flying off for me was when she talking about when they started trying to buy a house. And I'm like, okay.
Ray, you're in my sermon, Doc.
I'm like, yo, just off of that alone, I'm like, yo, you should have known right off the bat this nigga was a fraud. From the buying the house, I'm like, first off, when he came to you talking about he was freaking pre-approved for $750,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right. And then you go to buy a house and the real estate agent is talking about, oh, I need proof of funds. That's what the pre-approval is. So he probably never gave that to the real estate agent. Because why would they be asking for funds if you already got your pre-approval letter? Right? And so then they going through all this stuff, talking about, oh, I put this down payment on this and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you ain't never seen that money. And then they even to a part where she was like, I want to see your accounts. And he started showing her accounts. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I know this nigga don't got no money. I guarantee you anything, those are screenshots. He Googled it. And guess what? Guess what it turned out to be? He Googled like bank accounts and he screenshotted that joint. So I'm saying, you mean to tell me all you had to do was tap the phone and you would have seen it was a screen?
So none of the
none of that was real. And the only reason what happened?
None of the accounts was real.
None of them was real. And the only reason he had money was because he was collecting unemployment from before he met her.
Bro, that's what
he ain't had no job. And he talking about it was mad cap. And he talking about he's promoted to VP. He's making like 200,000 a year. And she's like, show me your office, take me to your building. And he telling him, oh, I can't get into the building because the head of security not there. Nigga, what VP can't get into a building?
Right. So right there, you said it when he said promoted to VP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any VP I know or I see even on TV, what are they? Suited and booted.
Suited up.
Right?
And he never wore a suit.
And she said that he was looking like an Amazon worker leaving the crib.
All of that. And then on top of that, the whole when he was like, oh, I got money because I played arena football.
And that was my next thing. Arena.
And I'm like, come on, yo, this girl don't know how to use Google.
Right?
I'm like, yo, Google how much an arena football player.
Hey.
That's why I feel he's a master manipulator. Because yes, as the story progressed, it started getting stupider and stupider and stupider, right?
Right.
But she still stuck by, and you see like halfway towards she was like saying, you know, what if he's not lying? See, that's the thing. That's all. Like, once you dangle something in front of somebody's face, bro, pause. Once you do that, something they want, it's like, bro, like they gonna want it. They, especially if it's something that they want, like for real, like they're gonna sit there and make excuses.
And go with the bullshit.
Except, yeah, different stuff. Like, you gotta understand the flip side to it. Again, this man came in, already showed, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm not gonna let you ride on no donut. Let me buy this tire for you on day one. Take you to your favorite restaurant day one. Then when he moved in, where he paying all the utilities, he paying her rent, and she didn't have to pay for none of that. And she said again, it was an intoxicating feeling. Like, so for us to understand that, we got to sit there and flip the script and put it in a perspective that a man can go ahead and understand. So let's just say, Ray, you a single guy, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
You get no buns. No buns. All you want to do is bust into something at this point. Something, because you're tired of beating your stuff, right? So the thing is,
Pamela ain't never done me dirty, bro. But go ahead.
I'm just saying. Say that you was in that situation, you could get no buns, you had no game, it just wasn't working. You tried, but you just kept getting shot down. You're beating your dick all the time, right? So it's like one day Beyonce comes to you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce comes to you, look fine as ever, spitting sweet nothings into your ear, giving you like, you know, encouragement, like you could do this, bring peace to your life. And when she basically tells you she falls in love with you and things she's doing, it shows
Right.
that she love, and then y'all sit there and y'all become intimate, and she gives you like the dirtiest, freakiest sex ever. It just blows your mind, right?
Okay.
You're gonna believe anything this chick tell you. And if it sounds funny to you, you're gonna sit there and make excuses to give you a reason to stay.
But Will, the thing though is this. That's Beyonce, so we know she got it.
No,
We
but I'm
know
saying,
she got it.
like, don't take it literal as a actual Beyonce. Let's just say it's Beyonce,
A bad
Beyonce,
chick.
a bad chick who looked like Beyonce on her level.
She's not gonna fool me. She
Again,
might. I'll
again,
take the
not
cheeks, but
talking
she's not
about
fooling me.
again, we're not talking about you, Ray. We're talking about Ray who got no game and get no buns and been beating his dick for 10 years.
Oh, so Kentrell.
Like, you're gonna hop on them, bro, and you're gonna believe anything. You're gonna believe anything she has for you. And that's basically the reverse what happened. She got a man that day one's taking care of her, making sure she good, now paying all her bills. She want this to be legit. She want this man to really be like this. No matter what he presents to her that's funny, she needs to find a reason.
I agree.
So
I agree. I think like as long as, like you said, knowing that she not paying her rent, she not paying her utilities, all she got to worry about is her stuff. I agree. I agree that it's a comfort level. So as long as she knows she don't got to worry about it, but also at the same time, and like you said, maybe again, as long as you don't got to worry about it, but also at the same time, and like you said, maybe again, as long as the bills are paid, she not really thinking about none of that stuff. But I guess from the outside looking in, it's some stuff, and I feel, and she even said it herself. She said, especially when they was buying the house, she was like she wasn't as involved as she should have been because she didn't know what she should have known.
Mhm.
And even some of the other stuff though, well, is like I don't know if it's because like I work with numbers or like I went to school for accounting or whatever, so I kind of have a fair understanding of how like taxes work and all that stuff. When he telling a homegirl like he got offshore accounts because after a certain point like the US imposes taxes or whatever, I'm like, unless he's talking about the interest that you earn on your money when it's sitting in the bank, I'm like, keep it a buck. What's the interest rate on the savings account?
Exactly.
I mean, like
4%.
it's not.
Exactly. None of that made
Yeah. So I'm like, how much money would you have to have? You would have to have tens of millions of dollars sitting in an account somewhere for you to even be earning like in the hundreds of
Hey,
thousands
bro.
of dollars. And I'm like, why would you even worry about, that's not worth the stress of starting an offshore account.
What makes no sense? A bunch of it makes no sense, but what stood out for me was your arena football salary, which is the median salary is about $33K, right? A season, right? Plus an offshore account, plus you work at Apple in the off season. That doesn't scream.
That don't make no sense, bro.
Yo, it's annoying, right? So another thing that what I wanted to mention, in part 9, bro, I got some notes in part 9. This joint was good. She said she was driving a 2012 Nissan Rogue, right? Fully loaded. He was driving a 2018 Ford Taurus Sports Edition. He said because he was regional manager, not VP, but because, if I'm not mistaken, because he was regional manager, he gets a company car and he gets to go pick out the car and has a $90,000 budget for a car.
Cap.
Yeah, listen. She said they went to go test drive cars. He needed full price taxes, tags, and title. Right? Had to be under 90K. He picks a BMW. He found one that was just under 90. Full price taxes, tags, and title. Right? Had to be under 90K. He picks a BMW. He found one that was just under 90. He said he called the powers be at the job, was like, all right, this is what it is. I'm sending it over to you. I'm emailing you. We need you to wire. They called him back. It's like, all right, so and so left. The only person that could make the wire left for the day, so we got to do it in the morning. So he said he told the salesman this, right? So she said that they're just chilling, and he gets a phone. He acts like he gets a phone call. He's like, yeah, oh yeah, you received it? All right, cool. I'll come pick up the car, basically.
Mhm.
So this is, and they're trying to buy the house, as you said. Not only that, he's like, yo, I don't want you driving that Nissan. If you're pregnant, you're gonna have my baby. I need you in a better car. So they went through 15 plus cars and they found out Audi, what is it? A Q8.
Yep.
Audi Q8. So I've never bought a house before, but I've seen you buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Cottrell. I've seen Will buy a house. And the person I seen buy a house straight up, like close up in person, was Vendel.
Mm-hmm.
They were watching every little thing that came out of his account, from groceries.
Every little thing. My nigga, they
From
tell
gas.
you do not buy furniture, do not buy appliances, do not, because they're watching all of that. So when
So-
she's
I hear
like, so when they haven't hit closing yet, and she talking about they going to Home Depot and buying appliances and buying furniture, I'm like,
And buying a car straight up.
That's the thing.
that's literally what they tell you not to do.
And I hear you, and I understand that we know that because we bought houses before. But again, she was rented; she had no idea.
But-
So that stuff, I could understand her falling for that.
Okay, I'll
No,
give you
but
that.
Will,
I'll give you
but
that
Will,
part. Go ahead,
but did-
Way.
But when
Give you
but
that.
Will,
I'll give you
but
that
Will,
part. Go ahead,
did-
Way.
But when you bought your house, did you not at least try to educate yourself a little bit on what the process is going to look like and what's expected?
Yeah, because I was buying the house. She wasn't buying
So-
the house. It was in his name.
But they were supposed to be doing
But
it.
that no, Will. That was the second time. There was a second time where she involved herself. So
Yeah,
and this
the
is what I'm
second
saying.
time, yeah. The second time she did involve herself, yes, but nothing was happening because of that. He wanted to do what you call it,
Cash.
straight cash.
Uh-huh.
So financing, like you wouldn't have to get pay stubs and all of that for that.
So that's my
You
thing.
still have to prove your you have to prove you have those funds.
You have to
Exactly.
do that, but not only that, Will. Remember, he bought they were going for a more expensive house. He was like, I'm gonna put a substantial amount of money down. That way, we can get the rest in a mortgage, right? So let's just say the house was $750 and he had $600K to put down. So that means he has $150 he had to do in mortgage, right? Right. So you're trying to buy a car and do that at the same time? Makes no sense to me, bro. Makes no sense to me. And that's a flag, my nigga. Like, I have never purchased a car, but I know when I'm trying to purchase something big, why am I going to go try to purchase another thing big unless I have
Anything else
millions
that's
in the
going to
account?
require them to run your credit.
But again, she don't know this stuff, bro.
But she should.
Exactly. That's
But
what I'm
she
saying.
should.
Where's her dad at? Where's this? Where's the father figure in her life that's teaching her these things? She is really clueless to a lot of things because he was able to finesse her in some ways that, like if you lived, like you would understand like something ain't right here. And stuff she just wasn't go for. I could understand her thinking that yes, he does have a 90K voucher to get a BMW because there are some huge companies that allow company cars them to, like Mercedes and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen that before. I can understand her not understanding the buying process, and I can understand him just getting a quote for a pre-approval and not physically having to give in any type of statements, whatever. And she thinking that is basically the approval. This is what, you know what I'm saying? This could show how he's telling the truth. I totally understand that. There's a lot that you could tell she didn't know.
But even some stuff though is common sense though, Will. Especially like companies that have company cars. It's not go pick out what car you want. a lot of these niggas, they have a
Already
relationship
have
with a
cars.
specific manufacturer. So if you
They
get in a
already-
company car, you either get in a Chevy or you get in a Dodge. They have a relationship with those companies. It ain't go to a dealership and pick out whatever you want, as long as so one, it's like that
But
don't make
some
no
of them do.
sense.
I used
Huh?
to, some of them do. When I used to sell cars for GMC, somebody came in. He was getting a car, what you call it, a company car for his company for him to ride in, and he got a brand new Buick Lucerne. Matter of fact, what year was that? Probably like
But it was his
2010.
company. It was his
Huh?
company.
It
It
wasn't
was
his
his,
company. It wasn't his company. He was an employee there.
and did that company have a relationship with that dealership?
As when you say a relationship, he did business with them, yes. And that company did do business with them with the cars and that. And of
That's
course,
what I'm saying.
it wasn't a $90,000 car, but it was still a brand new, Buick Lucerne, straight
Right.
out what you call it, the showroom.
Right. But that's the point I'm making. They're gonna have a relationship with us, either if it's not the manufacturer, a specific dealer that this dealer supplies us a lot of the stuff too. And like I know, like you saying, maybe she didn't know because nobody told her.
Yeah. All she
But-
hears is this man is a regional manager. He paying all my bills, no problem. And like if you're a regional manager, why couldn't you get a $90,000 car? Like the company must be big. I can understand her naivety.
I don't know,
I
especially
mean,
when she said,
apart-
hold on, D. Like, because there was a lot of stuff that pissed me off because she didn't bother to question anything. And what annoys me sometimes is like, let's be honest, when women want to question stuff, they question stuff. When a woman wants answers, she'll go find answers.
But when
in
is
this
that?
particular situation, she didn't look for nothing. How are you gonna have a closing on a house and you didn't have no inspection? He gonna tell you, oh, inspection is such and such a day. How you get your closing date before you get your before you know about inspection? And then they do the inspection and he just shows you a piece of paper and you take it. Somebody gotta be present at the inspection. Your realtor gotta be there, or when they inspected my house, I was here and my realtor was here. So how you just gonna take that?
But again, she don't know. And then
But-
after that one time when the realtor called her, he said, "Don't worry, I got this," and he shouldn't be, calling you for that stuff. And I'm sure he told, the realtor that. So she was kept.
No, but he told her he shouldn't be calling you because he claimed he went and got another realtor that she didn't know about. And that's who he gave the money to. And that's why the realtor that contacted the woman said, oh, I never got the money, because he never gave that realtor the money. He claims he gave it to a whole nother realtor that was his homeboy.
Right.
And I'm like, come on.
Like even when going back to the car situation, when he said that called his financial advisor, I need you to transfer over $72,562. They made the transfer. They made the transfer, right? Said he was on the phone with Audie, like, yeah, okay, you received it. Okay, you're gonna deliver the car to to her address. So he hit her. He was like, they're gonna deliver it between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. She said that she was like, nah, I don't want the delivery yet because I don't live in the hood, but I don't live in a great neighborhood, and I want the car to be in the garage. And I only have a 1-car garage. Well, get your Nissan out the fuck out of the garage, put that in the driveway or the street, and put the Q8 in that mug. Like, it just didn't make no sense. It was super weird, even on her end. It, like, this story on his side makes 0 sense, right?
Zero.
But hers got so many holes too.
Mad holes. A bunch of holes.
And I always say that. Like, I always say this, yo. Men do with what women allow them to do over time, bro. 100%. At one point in time, you have to start blaming the woman.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true. But at the same time, I'm sticking to it. Like in the beginning, he was that much of a master manipulator with what he was doing, and just had her mind gone. So she just started believing everything until she got ultimately tired of it.
I just don't think he was a master manipulator. Well, it's like he was playing Madden on the rookie level. That's what I think this was, and I don't think that makes him a master manipulator. I think any woman that knows how to question stuff is not gonna fall for this, bro. Especially when he says, "Oh, the deal on the house fell through because there's something going on with the interest rate." My nigga, it's 2021. During COVID, rates wasn't getting no lower.
No, I get what you're saying, but
So I'm like,
at the
I
same thing, I believe, bro, like especially like when, because like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I could see how her energy was changing as you getting higher up in the chapters, whatever, the parts, whatever.
right? Yeah, it definitely
Thing
changed.
is, yeah, it definitely did. I'm thinking like, I'm saying in the beginning, it was just boom. He had her mind gone to the point where funny stuff started happening. She was just kind of making excuses, putting it out her mind because of what he already solidified in her.
Yeah,
So it's just like he couldn't like during the beginning, she wanted to be true so much that she just accepted whatever until she just got tired of it. When a woman gets tired of something, that's when she
yes,
start asking questions.
yes,
That's when she start investigating, going through your
yes.
phones and stuff. Like not all for like first rip of something being funny. It
But
gotta be
Mhm.
but she was questioning from the beginning of her diary, which was the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, first 3 weeks of them knowing each other. What is he gonna lie about this time?
Right. She knew he was lying about, especially once the house. I think at the once the house came into the picture, when she started realizing that he's lying to her about something. She just doesn't know what exactly he's lying about and how big the lie is. But what I did kind of pick up that she confirmed in the end was that she's kind of acting like the type of person who's never experienced money before or been around somebody that has it.
Mm.
So, and I think that was a new experience for her. And I think she said in the end, like she kind of came up on welfare. So, and it kind of rang. I kind of got alerted when she said that she had a Nissan Altima that she needed his help paying the note for. And I'm like, an Altima is probably one of the cheapest cars you can get. I'm like, you need his help to pay for the Altima something. So that's when I kind of knew. I'm like, she must not come from money and she must not have it like that.
So,
If you need an
oh, she
unemployed
did.
nigga's help to pay for your Altima note.
Mm.
so let me ask you this, Ray. You
Uh,
got
funny Kentrell.
Chat, you can't see Cottrell's, but he's talking junk in the comments. Um, in our chat rather. So let me ask you this: you have a sister, cousin, whomever. What do you say to a woman to for her to give her advice to avoid these situations?
Tell her flat out, no, he's lying, and I'm
But
gonna expose him.
no. But how does she recognize? What are some signs you could tell her like to look out for? Is what I should ask
Signs to look out for.
to
Yeah,
avoid
basically,
the situation,
what
to avoid a nigga like this. Like for me, off rip, if I'm thinking, okay, y'all met on Hinge, cool. Contrell said he got one. Say it, Contrell. I'll read it in a second. Y'all meet on Hinge, got a different. Oh God, I really thought you had. All right, y'all meet on Hinge, and let's just say his name was Gabe, but on Facebook, his name was Dwight. Like, because that's what happened. It was y'all matched or y'all got connected on two separate apps with two separate names. So that's one sign. That's what I'm asking. Why are you thinking, Will? You got anything on that?
I got a few things.
Uh oh.
This is what, because I have a daughter, and this I've had to think about this. For one, online dating is a no.
Mm.
We're not doing that on these apps, bro. It's 99.9% creeps that just want to get in your drawers. That's it. That is absolutely it. Uh, Other than that, take everything slow. become friends. Don't sit there and fall Google head over heels in love with this man off rip. No, be friends first. Then, while your friend's taking it slow, his family, you got to sit there and meet his family, see how he treats his mother, see how he treats his sisters, and like for real, and like real life situations, see if he takes care of them, if he protects them, if you know what I'm saying, he don't let nobody mess with them. You see that. Not only that, see who he hangs around. Look at his boys and see how his boys move. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't about shit, he probably ain't about shit. And to just pay attention. If he's sitting there talking about sex real quick, he out of here. I mean, me back in the day when I was sitting there and I was doing my thing, I did my thing a lot, you know, playing the field, whatever. But when I was serious about a girl, like for real serious, like sex, talking about sex and all of that, at least a month, I wouldn't even go there if I was truly interested, bro. But if you look out for them things, you could weed out a lot of dudes that do not mean you good, and definitely weed out the ones that's trying to scam you, because they're gonna get impatient and they're gonna want to move on to the next mark.
No, that's some good shit, bro. That's some good.
Like somebody should have told her like everything should tie back to something. You said like if your name is Derek on one thing and then John on another, it has to tie back. I'm not saying if it does, because you might find me as Ray on Facebook and then find me as Andrew on LinkedIn. It don't mean I'm two different people. One is my first name, one's my middle name. True. But it's got to be able to tie back to something, and it has to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, you need to ask questions.
Absolutely.
Nah,
I don't stop that, until you're satisfied.
Don't accept this any answer. Accept the answer that makes sense.
Right.
And honestly, and don't go to your friends for advice about the dude. If you got an answer, you want go ahead and what's the word? Bounce ideas off of them. Nah, do not do that. That is so stupid, because your friends are just as clueless as you are. Blind leading the blind. Go to, if you have a pops, go to your pops. Anything that don't sound right, I don't care if it's embarrassing. Like I told my daughter, when you start dating, I don't care what it is. If it's about sex or whatever, you have a question, talk to me. I'm gonna tell you 100% what you need to know, where your friends might not have the knowledge of it, haven't been there yet, and probably guessing at the answer. And others that may just want to lead you astray.
So
come to me.
Speaking of that,
and if you don't have a father figure, a father figure, you got uncles, you know what I'm saying? Older cousins, brothers, whatever, that's not gonna want to
pastor, bro. If you got it.
Yeah, not gonna see, they're not someone who's not gonna want to see you. And like I said, a male, because you asking about a male, get a male's perspective. Somebody who's not going to want to see you get dogged out. That's your best bet.
So, you know, you mentioned, I don't know if your listeners or our viewers and listeners know, you have a 13-year-old daughter, Jega. Have you had that conversation with her? Like,
about
come to me?
Absolutely. I tell her straight up that niggas ain't shit. And I talk to her just like that. Niggas ain't shit. And I sit there and I remember one time I was asking her, I was like, think of a time where something happened and you were sad, right? And it just had you crying and like you didn't want to talk to nobody about it. You just wanted to lay in your bed. And she was like, okay. I was like, you got that feeling? And she's like, yeah. I was like, now amplify it by 1,000. That's what a nigga could do to you. You ain't gonna want to eat. You ain't gonna want to talk about it. You ain't gonna want to do your schoolwork. You got a job. You ain't gonna want to work. That's what depression is. And it's not gonna last a week. It can last for months. It can last for years.
Yeah.
And a father's gonna do some things that a mother might not do, which is why I'm surprised she got smart. She got real smart towards the end. But a lot of the stuff that she was doing towards the end, I'm like, you should have did that from the beginning. But the only reason I know that's even possible is because my father taught me about it. Like when he's talking about divorces, my father taught me about public record where you can just go down to City Hall and ask for it because it's public. When she called the school to say, well, he said he played football here. Called the registrar's office. We don't
Right.
have no record of him ever being here. I'm like, yo, see, and I like you said, I think if she had like that male figure in her life, whether it's a father, whether it's an older brother or cousin or uncle, something, somebody would have told her, you can do X, Y, and Z. And from that, you can find out this, you can find out that, you can find out that. My father did it once with a chick that used to some crazy chick that used to go to our church, talking about she's in the middle of a divorce with her husband. My father said, "Oh, that's funny," because when I went down to City Hall, there's no record of her. There's no divorce papers for her or her husband, unless she lied about where they got married. Because that town that you got married in would have your records. And he was
Right.
like, "It's not there." So she's not divorcing nobody.
Yeah. So, no, I agree with everything y'all said. Yo, Contrell, come off mute for a second. But I agree with everything y'all said, man. Uh, I don't have a daughter. Um, that's here, and I would definitely take the same approach that Will took. Will said, and because I believe I said this on the last episode, man. I said children are it takes a village to raise them. They're the most innocent creatures ever. We gotta protect them. So we gotta give them all that knowledge, not only educational, not only like with us, we're musicians and all that, but we gotta give them that street knowledge too. Like we gotta give them that what to look for in any case scenario, any situation possible rather. So, Contrell, you have a goddaughter, Chloe. I think Chloe's like what 10, 11.
Yeah.
In a few years, she's gonna start dating. What do you
Yeah.
say to her for her to avoid these ain't shit niggas? Because ain't shit niggas, they don't got age on them. They could be 16, my nigga. You know what I mean? They could be 21. They can be 80.
Yeah.
So talk to me.
Um, bro, I would say this. I think the biggest thing for me, I've been talking to her lately a lot about, getting in trouble and just following her friends, like doing the wrong thing. Like lately she has been, kind of like finding herself in situations, and I kind of just referenced that from a lot of things like, yo, it's not safe out here. It ain't safe.
Yo.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I had to fix my mic. It was backwards.
Wow, right? That's crazy.
Chill. Oh, you make it throat hurt.
I can't finish.
Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Like, so I feel like for me, when I talk to her, like, y'all know, it's like she was in my wedding and stuff. So I have something I can, reference that maybe a lot of people don't have. So, I'll let her know, like, hey, you see how, Miss Kimberly, was a bride and all this type of stuff. I was like, it took a lot of work and a lot of things, in life for her to get to this moment. And yeah, that's crazy. And now I just let her know, like, yo, like, if she ever wants to get to that point in life, she can't allow any man or anybody to mistreat her, like, or just push her in a way where, you know, just treat her like she's not worthy of to be treated like she's a woman, like a princess, like she is. Like when I'm with her, she knows not to open the doors. She knows not to open the car door. So it be times where like say like I forget or I'm like walking behind her like a few steps. She'll stand there and wait till I come open the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I feel like as a godfather or as a father figure in her life, you know, I exemplify what a man should do and how a man should treat her. So when she does grow up, she knows not to fall full of foolishness. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
bro, I just think it starts, bro. It starts with how you treat him.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it was one episode we talked about how we lead. You know what I'm saying? Like how we lead our women. Like leading your daughter is such an important thing. If you fail at that, bro, like you're doomed.
Mm.
Right.
And you regret that as a father, bro.
Yep.
And I would never want to regret that I ain't teach my daughter like Will said, niggas ain't ish. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
bro, like it's gotta start from the jump, bro. And I helps off to Will, bro, because that's why I say Will's a legend, bro. Like everything he said, just the way he voiced his conversation with Jigga, like it's crazy. I would have never thought to say it that way. I would have never thought to paint a picture like that. Like, bro, like you're like the GOAT, bro.
Yeah,
Like, for real.
that's dope.
That's
So
crazy.
I
Honestly, that's kind
appreciate.
of one of my fears about if I ever have a daughter, yo.
Can't have no fears,
Because,
brother. You just gotta walk in it,
bro,
brother.
because exactly what, like, well, and like y'all all saw at least some of the videos. Like to imagine, like, if I'm the father and I find out that like somebody's putting my daughter through that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna
feel
try
like it's a
not
whole
to.
lot easier to go to jail over your daughter than it is over your son as a man.
Absolutely. Because off rip, if something like that, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you're going to guide your son, you know, and what to do, but he got to do it because he's a man. Versus your daughter, nah, she need to be protected. You know what I'm saying? You know, if she, especially, you know, she's not married. If it's just a boyfriend situation, it's still my job to protect her. So
Yeah, I would
like
agree.
offer like that, and that's why I do get it for you know, girls. It's very important to have their mothers in their life, you know, to
Yeah,
teach them how to be women and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just important to have that father in their lives too, because he's gonna, you know, basically one teach them how to be hip to the game when it
yep,
comes to dealing with niggas.
yep,
That two, that father and daughter relationship is going to
Unmatched.
teach them how to accept love from a
absolutely,
man the proper way.
absolutely.
And
Yeah, and like, I like what Kentrell said. Like with his goddaughter, is that like like he opens the doors for her, like he treats her the way like she should expect to be treated. Because one part of her story that drove me up a wall while I was at work was when she said she had the miscarriage and the doctor gave her the three options. Either you can, your body can expel the fetus naturally, you can take a pill, or you can or
Surgery.
we can do a surgery. And she took the pill, but I guess it didn't expel all the fetus. So when she has to go in for the surgery the next day, he tells her, "Oh, I'll just have somebody bring you because I got to go to work."
right,
I'm like, first off, nigga, you don't have a job, you lying. And even if you did,
they would
you
It's
totally.
an it's an
what you mean you
emergency.
not what you mean you not gonna go with her? I was like, yeah,
It's
that
an
would have drove me up a
absolute
wall.
yeah, it's an absolute emergency, man.
As
The
a
job
father, I
would
would have
have
killed that nigga if I would have ever heard that and that was my daughter. I
Yeah.
would have killed that nigga.
So speaking of parents, you mentioned the relationship with a mother and a father and his daughter. All right, that's absolutely important. I believe everyone that's listening can or watching will agree, and as we all do. But what do you think about what her mother said? Her statement was, "Do not ever put yourself in a position where you depend on a man financially."
Trash. Absolute trash.
I don't
Okay.
think it's trash, and I think it should go both ways though.
Wait. Why? Wait. Well, feature patriarch.
Mhm.
Why shouldn't a woman ever be in a position where she depends on a man financially?
Because that is, to me, I understand what she's getting at and why she's saying that, but to me, that's sending a bad message. Like, you're
But,
supposed to depend on your spouse for everything. Y'all in that together, especially when it's the woman, especially when it's the woman, like like that's who you chose to lead you. Like, and when because of, and I'll put it like this, because of feminism, throughout the years, and I see that look on your face, Ray. You think it's going left. It's not going left.
No. I don't think it's going. I just want to hear your reasoning. I'm trying to hear how you got to that conclusion.
But yes, because of feminism, it's like that gender role has changed so much, and a lot has been instilled in women to basically just be independent, which at face value you could understand like what that could mean, because marriage is not promised. You want to be able to take care of yourself, but while you're doing that, it's like you're while you're teaching them that, you're losing focus of teaching them how to be nurturers, teaching them how to actually coexist with a man, how to treat her husband. And I think honestly, saying uh don't have put yourself in a position where you got to depend on your man for anything, that's weird.
But she said she didn't say for
Depend
anything. She
on
said finance.
But when I'm
financially.
saying, anything, whether it's finances, depending on him to protect you, stick up for you, to support you,
We
that's
know
crazy.
that part, but
Like,
let's
just I understand what you're saying, but like, bro, change the word from finance, like I just did. Don't depend on a man. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to depend on a man to protect you. Don't put yourself in a position with a man where you have to depend on him to protect you, support you, to you know like anything, like existing within a relationship. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you not depend on who you chose to live the rest of your life with, to build a home, a family, someone like you're basically when you get married, you become one. It's like saying you're not going to depend on yourself. That's crazy.
But as soon as the nigga leaves her, this is what you're saying, how you're explaining it. This is what I'm getting from it. The nigga can leave her at any given moment, and she's not financially secure. And now she got to come back home. She has to. That's why, to be honest, that's why a lot of women go in the strip club and start stripping or selling their ass.
I get
So-
exactly what you're saying.
So I
But
don't think I agree with you on the protective, but I don't think that same logic applies to financial. I think a woman needs to absolutely be able to live and pay her own bills on her own and never have to worry about a man paying her shit.
And I get that, and I agree with you, but at the same time, like, that's just the message that's sending. Is just not good. Like, putting yourself in a position to, instead of that, say, make sure you're smart about who you choose to lead you, who you choose to enter in that union with. Make sure he has your best interest at heart. Make sure he loves you, because if you have that, he's not going to steer you the wrong way. You don't have to worry about him supporting you in anything. You don't have to worry about not, being what's the word? um if your finances are online, you're not gonna have to worry about being in a position where he's not gonna make sure you're taken care of.
So I think what the mother was talking about was full dependency. But I think what you're saying, which I do agree with you, Will, is that with at least within a marriage, there needs to be interdependence. To a degree, y'all do depend on each other
But
together,
I don't. But why
but
would she,
not fully dependent because, like, keep it a buck. If God forbid, if my marriage wasn't to work out, I can still cook, clean, provide, support myself. Likewise, Carissa can also cook, clean, support, and provide for herself. Yes, we can both do it on our own, but together within the marriage, there's an interdependence where we weave those things from both of our entities into one. And that's what I think you're trying to get at.
but no, but what I'm saying is, and the reason why is because she's made that comment when it was about the car issue, right?
Correct. It was about her not being able to afford the car note.
So my thing is, why would her mom be talking in the sense of, basically where you're depending on him just to basically live. You know what I'm saying? Because simple fact, before him, she had her own place, she had her own car.
Correct.
So
Correct.
so why would she say that? It specifically had to do with that one issue with the car, not her, being able to take care of herself. Because she was already doing that before him.
Correct.
So I think
now
she,
when you
I
put it in
think she made it.
context like that, I get you.
Yeah, I think she made it seemed like she was saying in the sense that basically she almost sounded like a woman scorn, talking about, what I'm saying, basically don't depend on a man for nothing. You know what I'm saying? As I
I don't think
said,
that's how she. Yeah, I didn't get that.
but
I
why would
didn't get that
why would you
tone from it.
but my thing is she had a man that was okay, one, we already established she was taking care of herself, paying her own rent, had her own car already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then she had a man come in who started paying all that for her utilities and her rent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she wants to go ahead and get a car, whatever, and she needs her man to help her pay for it for whatever reason. And she gonna say, "Don't put yourself in a position like that." Like that don't make no sense. Like
How
this
does it
is
not make sense though?
that's his wife. Why would you tell your daughter to not put herself in a position where her husband financially that she can't basically take care of herself?
Okay. All right. Here's where I think that is now. So if this was you, right, and your daughter, and you met her husband, you like the husband, he's a good guy, you know he's gonna take care of your daughter. You wouldn't tell her that, right?
Right.
Okay. But you have to remember in her situation, I don't think the mother had even met this guy yet.
True.
So
Absolutely.
now imagine your daughter goes against your wish because I know you wouldn't support this or encourage this. So now imagine your daughter's married to a guy that you haven't met, you've only ever heard about. Wouldn't you kind of tell her the same things like, listen, I don't know
Nah,
this dude and I probably can't trust this dude?
nah. And the reason
Especially if
why,
she told you stuff that doesn't add up, you would
nah,
you would probably tell her the same thing. Like,
stuff didn't add up. I'm just address that, you know, how I'm gonna address that. But the thing is, I'm not gonna sit there and say that to her because one, I already know, but she could take care of herself because she was already doing that. So that's why I'm just thinking like, yo, it had to be specifically with that purchase. Because there was already evidence that she could take care of herself because she was doing it. Like I said, I think her mom was just seeing things wasn't right and whatever, and basically was doing kind of what women do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You talk to your girls about your problems with your man. Oh, he ain't shit. Don't worry about him. Do this, da da da. I believe that's what was happening only from a mother's perspective. And like honestly, as I'm saying, we heard no mention of the father. Where is he at? You know what I'm saying? Her mother could probably have an issue with men. Like it just don't make sense. She would say that, and meaning don't put yourself in a position where you got to depend on your man to survive when she was already surviving without.
Like,
Okay.
remember this whole issue came up when she said she left her job because she needed another job to earn more money to be able to pay for the car. Right?
But he was
I think I think what the mother maybe was trying to get at was if this was a what's the word? If she was proactive instead of being reactive, that she would have said, don't buy outside of your means. So technically, if you can afford a Versa, then you buy the Versa. If you can't afford the Altima, then technically you don't buy the Altima. Like, I wouldn't buy a vehicle.
That's like okay. I don't know your finances, right?
Right.
You and Carissa, y'all married. She want to get a car, right? And you tell her, oh, get this Audi A8 2024 or whatever, right? And she's like, well, I can't afford that, you know, this and that. And you're like, and you make more than her. You're like, don't worry about it. I got it. Whatever. This, that. And she talks to her mom about it. And her mom says to her, oh, don't get that car. If you can't afford it on your own, don't depend on your husband to help you out financially. That's weird.
I don't think that's weird. I don't think it's weird. I think it's a she's being fiscally responsible. Now, here's the thing. If I were to tell Carissa, oh, buy this Audi or buy this, and she knows that it's beyond her means, even if she knows that I'll come out of my pocket and I'll meet her halfway or I'll pay for it myself, she won't do it. And we've had this conversation before because it's about time for her to start looking for a new car. And I've offered up my suggestions and she was like, nah. And I said, but even if I were to like chip in and help you, she was like, no.
But that's not the debate here. You know, with her, like, let's just say she wanted the car and she was just telling her mom about it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, all due respect. I just
don't think it would be a bad thing her mother telling her that.
But what I'm saying, all due respect, like, you know, who is her mother to tell her daughter, like, you know, not to do something, a decision that needs to be made within y'all's marriage? Especially about finances.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, Will. I get what you're saying. I don't think it was so much that she was trying to speak regarding marital affairs as much as she was speaking on principle. That's how I took it. I took that mother's advice as she's speaking as a principle. Don't buy what you can't afford. That's how I took it. That's how I interpreted it.
I don't know about that one. I think, you know what I'm saying, she should have just basically let them figure it out. Like, that's crazy for her to tell, like, it just me hearing myself say it, her mother telling her not to put her in a position where she has to depend on her husband for something. I know you're saying it was just finances they were talking about, but that's still something. You're telling her not to depend, put her in a position where she got to depend on her husband, who she chose to lead her. That's crazy to me.
But I think, in my opinion, I think both situations are right. You can do both at the same time. You can be independent and depend on your husband to do to do whatever. I just don't ever want someone I love, a female, a sister, a niece, any of my godchildren, to say, yo, God daddy said it's okay, just depend on like I ain't gotta have my stuff. Like that's what that's giving me when you say something like that. So I think you need to word it different to let the listeners or the viewers see that we're saying, you know, you lean on your husband.
Interdependent, yeah.
Yes, but make sure you still have your own ish.
Right.
So that's where I got when you first said that. I'm like, wait a minute. That's why I made that face, chat.
Nah, bro. Sorry, like it's the that to
So
me just
the woman shouldn't have her own. You don't want
Well-
Gigi to have her own
And that's
before
the
she
thing.
gets
Will,
into
I was just about to
marriage?
say, you said you would expect your daughter G to go to college and get an education. For what? If she's just gonna get with a guy who's supposed to lead and provide everything for her.
But the thing is, I'm not talking about providing anything for her. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying she can't, take care of herself, put her in a position where she can take care of herself. I'm not saying that, she shouldn't go 50-50 with her man if that's what they choose to do. I'm not saying that she should enter in a relationship where a man's gonna totally take, care of her. I'm not saying none of that. What you choose is what you choose. But I'm saying when you start saying stuff like her mother did, it sets a bad precedent where it's like, that almost to me sounds like like almost like an exit strategy. You know what I'm saying? And then also, like other sayings that you've heard, women, they'll keep a little secret nest egg. Nah, that's trash. You sitting there hiding money from your husband? Like, that's weird. Like, bro, like, and I'll speak for myself. My previous marriage, bro, there was a situation where it happened where money was hidden from me. When I found out, I exploded because I'm sitting here and at that point I'm working 2 jobs here and I'm saying everything that I'm giving is going to the family and whatever you need you come straight to me, take my card, whatever, here you go, this is how much, what you got to do, this is how much you're gonna spend, whatever, you go and spend whatever and more. I get overdraft fees and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I sit there and I give my last, bro, and you hiding money.
But then the problem then to me, what you're saying, it don't sound like the problem is the nest egg. The problem to me, it sounds like it's the secrecy.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's those little secret nest eggs that women would have. Those,
Well, secrets
that's
in
what
a
they
marriage,
were.
period.
It was secret.
And I don't agree with hiding money, but to have money.
Yeah, if
That's
if
what
I
I'm
know
saying.
if Carissa said, "Oh, I'm starting an account over here where I'm just throwing away, I'm just stashing $100 every paycheck, and I'm just keeping it over here just as maybe like a rainy day fund or a little nest egg fund." That's completely different than if it's just like she's doing it with the intention of keeping a secret from me.
Yeah,
So
understand.
I'm not against that whole the nest egg. I think the problem is secrets. And then that becomes, it's not just secrets with money, that just becomes secrets in general.
But that's the thing. That term is basically, that is a whole term. It's not just a nest egg. It was a secret nest egg that, women would have in case whatever. I'm not going to signify what it was for, but it was just basically in case whatever that the husband did not know about. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, why am I got a nest egg? Like, this is boom here. This is our emergency fund, whatever. I'm saying, why do you want to do it by yourself? Let's do it together.
So you rather them not? You rather her not have a nest than to y'all, like, just say like, okay, you and Bria, y'all married. She has a secret nest that you don't know about. Y'all get into a major bind. Her nest is able to bail you out. You're gonna be mad at the same time grateful.
Absolutely.
Damn.
Because why are you hiding money? Why are you hiding money, bro?
I'm mad and grateful.
Why are you hiding money? Like, it's like whatever we need that money. Whatever we need that money. Hold on, I'm gonna look at it like this. Whatever we need that money for, and we just got to, from my knowledge, we just ain't got it. And that's because I know that on my end, I've been giving everything that I have. And you've been holding out. So potentially, we didn't even have to get to this point if I knew about that
But
nest.
what if the point came out of nowhere? What if the issue came out of nowhere?
Even if, why are you hiding money? I'm open with you. I'm open with you with everything, especially with finances. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like, who does
No,
that?
I get you, but it's still wild that you're gonna be grateful and pissed at the same time. But listen, man, I appreciate I appreciate everyone for watching this episode, man. We're trying to get better and better every episode, man, and we are grateful and grateful. We're not grateful and mad that y'all are watching this shit, right? So talk to us in the comments. You know, I want to shout out to Ron Hutton, of course, like always, TH5 Media, for everything you've done for the Brody's podcast and that you continue to do. We're gonna come, we're gonna revamp this a little bit and then try to make this a little bit better and more conducive so that y'all can get the full experience. You know, so we need you to like, share, subscribe, and also pray for Pastor K.
Yes, sir.
Pray for Pastor K. You know what I mean? He's the sick and shut-in. But we appreciate him for getting on online and speaking to what he had to say, giving his 2 cents, man. So this is from myself, Dave Tobin, Voice of Reason, Future Patriarch, and Pastor K. Thank y'all for watching this Brody's podcast. We out. Peace.
Bless you.
Yes, sir.
He said, bless y'all.
Yo, God, you crazy, bro.
Will,
Oh,
you're
my
nuts.
Like I said, I'm gonna be grateful